So remember how a few videos back I said something like this? I love coffee and I want coffee so badly. Right now it's fall and all I want is a pumpkin spice latte. Just give a girl a pumpkin spice latte. Well, hold on a second. I need to go get something. Guys, I'm drinking coffee again. It's probably not the best of ideas, but it is so good and I've been drinking it for a few weeks now. So I think it's time that I get you all caught up to speed on where I am in this journey with the SCD diet, what I've been doing, what I've been up to, and what my health is like. So let's jump right into it. So if you're new here, my name is Janine and welcome to my channel, A Gut Feeling, where we talk about everything relating to the gut. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and this channel is basically documenting my experiences, the things I've learned that help, and I believe that there can be healing found through diet. I want to quickly make a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor or dietitian, so any changes that you make to your diet or supplements, make sure to consult your doctor first. I made a bunch of videos at the beginning so that I could consistently upload for a few weeks, and so I feel like you guys are a little bit out of the loop as to where I actually am currently right now at the making of this video. I'm not trying to come across like I have all the answers because I definitely do not. And also the advice I'm giving to you, I want to implement in my own life, and so when I don't do that, I need to let you guys know and make sure you know where I'm at. And so I have a confession to make, and that is that I fell off the bandwagon of this diet. And I actually survived, guys. I survived. So I'm just going to recap my experiences since starting the specific carbohydrate diet. I was in an active flare for around 5 months. I was bleeding. I just could not get on top of things. I was trying a multitude of diets and fasts and all kinds of things, and nothing was working. And so I finally started a specific carbohydrate diet, and it was just a miracle, and I praise God for his healing in my life. I feel so incredibly good right now, and so I'm just going to share my experiences with you all. Now I'm pulling this all out of my memory. I should have documented it a little bit better, but I believe it was the end of September, beginning of October that I started the specific carbohydrate diet. Okay, so the foods that I started off with on the specific carbohydrate diet, I have recipes to all of them on this channel. There was like broiled meats, like homemade jello, 24-hour yogurt was a huge staple. I ate that. Probably 80% of my food consisted of the yogurt. I ate honey with yogurt, which was really good. I could have eggs, although I didn't eat a whole lot of them because they were a little bit heavy. I just didn't really feel like eating eggs much, but that was something that I was permitted to eat. There was something I wanted to mention in my other videos that I failed to, but a really good thing to eat or drink when you're starting off and all the time is bone broth. It is so good. It is so healing for your gut. Check into all the benefits of bone broth. I had done this a lot previously, and honestly I was so tired of it, so sick of it, I could hardly get another cup down. So I didn't drink any bone broth at the beginning phase because I was already so sick of it. But if you like the taste, I would definitely suggest that you include bone broth at the beginning phases of the SCD diet. So moving on, remember, I was trying everything. I was bleeding, I was running to the bathroom multiple times a day. Bad days, it was probably somewhere between 10 and 30 times. Good days is maybe somewhere between 5 and 10. Anxious to leave the house, all this stuff. If you all have any kind of problems like this, you know what I'm talking about. And so when I started the specific carbohydrate diet, like within the first week, I started having more formed bowel movements, which was a complete rarity, which never, ever, ever happens to me. Things just started leveling out. I wasn't running to the bathroom as much. I still had urgency, but I was probably only going 3 times a day, maybe 4, and it just kept slowly dwindling. Within that first week, I was just feeling amazing. And so I started to add foods back in. One of the first foods I added back in was bananas. You want to make sure they're super ripe, and I would freeze them, and then I would make smoothies with my 24-hour yogurt and bananas. This was really amazing that I could actually handle bananas because I had tried bananas before, and it just seemed as soon as I ate them, I was running to the bathroom. But thankfully, I was able to tolerate it, and bananas are such a delicious food to eat. And another thing, when you're taking probiotic foods, like take the 24-hour yogurt, if you've been watching my videos, you know how much I recommend that for getting your probiotics in foods and how important probiotics are. And I'll probably touch more on this in another video, but when you're taking probiotics, it's very good to take a prebiotic with it Basically, probiotics need sugars to feed on, and when you make a yogurt, it's a 24-hour yogurt, it has already eaten all the lactose out of the milk, and so it has nothing left to feed on. So it's a wise idea when you eat your probiotics, like the yogurt for instance, that you take a prebiotic with it, and the prebiotics give the probiotics more food so that they can continue to grow. So when you add bananas or honey, honey's another good prebiotic food, and I would add both of those to the yogurt. It gives the probiotics in the yogurt extra fuel, and so they can continue to grow in your gut. It's kind of the theory that I ran across, and I've always tried to implement that to eat prebiotics with my probiotics. So guys, I was going through like 3 gallons of yogurt a week. This yogurt was like my staple. It was so delicious, so good. It was easy on my gut, and I just craved it. Like I just ate and ate and ate this yogurt with honey and bananas. Another food that I introduced next would have been squash, butternut squash, and I had to be careful with this. At first it seemed I was a little sensitive to it, but I introduced that, and so there for a while my diet for, I would say, probably a week or 2 was the yogurt with the bananas and honey. I often like to broil chicken and eat that with butternut squash. I was doing so well and feeling so good again, like I was getting my life back. And so I just stuck to these foods for a while. It was a few weeks because I was petrified to try other things. It just seemed every time I tried something, I just kind of reacted to it. So with a lot of these smoothies that I was making, I was including a heaping scoop of collagen. I have a Trim Healthy Mama brand because that's what I had around here, but I'll have links in the description below to some healthy collagen you can order. Collagen is an incredible supplement to take. You can mix it in with your shakes, you can mix it in with your coffee, however you want to take it. And it helps rebuild the gut lining. It's a little bit like gelatin, but I would say I would even prefer collagen more. Collagen is another one of the things that helps rebuild your gut lining. And so I was putting a heaping tablespoon into my smoothies. And I plan to talk more about collagen in another video, but I just wanted to let you know what I'm taking. Another thing I was putting in my smoothies was colostrum. I don't know if y'all have heard about colostrum and the incredible benefits it has. I kept running into different people mentioning colostrum in my studies, how good it is for you. If you study into it, there's tons of research on colostrum. I am planning to dedicate a whole video to colostrum and its benefits. I'm not going to dive into that there, but I am going to say this. Up until that point, I could not get my bleeding to stop. I was doing so well, and I kept thinking, why can the bleeding not stop? It had slowed down. It wasn't quite as bad, but it just seemed it would not stop. I had heard about this colostrum, and I had talked to a gentleman that sold it, and he gave me some testimonies of another girl that had been bleeding for 6 months. Her condition was a little bit different than mine. She supposedly, after she started taking this, quit bleeding within the first week. And I ordered it when it finally came to my house. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks after I started the diet. And I started taking this, and guys, within a few days, I didn't see any more blood. Now, I'm not going to say that it was the colostrum that did it, but I have a high suspicion it was a huge help. Because maybe it was just my diet. I had been on my diet long enough that I finally quit bleeding. But I really do believe the colostrum was a huge help because of the studies and research I've done on what colostrum can do for you. It's just incredible. So I'm going to dedicate a whole video to colostrum, and I have some exciting stuff coming up. I actually have an interview coming up with the gentleman that was telling me about colostrum, and it's very interesting. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. So make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button if you don't want to miss the video. And so suddenly I am almost returned to like a normal person. I still had mild urgency, but I was only going to the bathroom maybe once or twice a day, which is like so normal. Form bowel movements, which is absolutely mind-blowing to those of us that have things like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's and other IBD issues. And I just felt so good. Stomach pain was leaving, was gone. I could live my life again. I could leave the house and all this incredible stuff. And then I started getting sloppy, which I have this terrible personality that does that. And that's when I started falling off the bandwagon. I was feeling so well, and as I started introducing foods, I wasn't reacting to them, and I started introducing them much faster than what is recommended in the book, but I was able to tolerate them. Before long, I was eating salads, fruit, raw fruit, like just suddenly I could eat apples and berries. I still tried to be careful not to just gorge on them, but I was doing fine. I was eating cheeses, and guys, I started drinking coffee. At first, I tried to be very careful. I tried with low acid coffee, and I added cream to my coffee, which cream is actually a no-no on the specific carbohydrate diet. Another thing that's a no-no is sweet potatoes. I'm not exactly sure why, because in GAP's diet, they do allow sweet potatoes, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do sweet potatoes. My lines started getting blurry. I actually had sweet potato fries when we ate out, and I know that they aren't the best for you because they're covered in things that are, it's not just pure sweet potatoes you're ordering. I would go out to eat, have like a burger with lettuce, tomato, onion, it would have mayonnaise and ketchup on top. I wouldn't eat it with the bread. But I wasn't really reacting. Every now and then it would react just a little bit, but never ever to the point that it would just put me under. And so I just became so excited. I started not being quite as careful as I should have. And there have been days when I have eaten awful food. And what I mean by awful is things like chocolate. One day I really had chocolate and I should not have had chocolate. And there's a few other days when I had really bad cheat foods. Like I rarely eat gluten, but actually just the other day I had some bread when we went to eat out. And I didn't react to it. I couldn't believe it, but that is still something that I don't plan to reintroduce into my diet. Every now and then I might cheat on it, but gluten is something that still freaks me out. But guys, that's where I am right now. I have not been strict on this diet like I should, and it's been showing up in my weight. Guys, I've gained weight since I can start eating again. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I was like, yay, I'm finally almost down to my single weight, and now suddenly the scale's climbing again. Anyway, so I'm trying to get that back down today. I'm like, I have got to reset and not get so careless because I cannot fall back into another flare. But seriously, I just can hardly believe it. And the other thing is, like many of you know, I'm not taking any medicine. For the first time in 2 years, 2 years ago I was diagnosed with this. I feel better than I have ever felt in those entire 2 years. Over half of that time I have been in an active flare. I would be like in a flare for half a year, out for a couple months, and another flare for half a year. But when I was actually out of my flares, I rarely had formed bowel movements. I would just be going to the bathroom like once, maybe twice a day, and it was still kind of, it still wasn't the best, and I kind of think it was because of the meds I was on. Still kind of made me a little bit raw and just diarrhea. I just hate talking about this kind of stuff. It just makes me feel awkward, but I know it helps you guys because if no one talks about it, how are we going to share our experiences with each other? And I know a lot of you are in the same boat, so it definitely makes it easier for me to share this with you guys. But anyway, so this is like the first time in probably 2 years that I have been able to go almost like a normal person to the bathroom, and it just makes you feel so good. Like it just makes your inside, your gut just feels healthy. When you're done going to the bathroom, you don't have this feeling like you weren't finished, or you don't have this feeling like just like you just feel clean, you feel good, you feel healthy. And my life, I just praise God. My life is just so incredible right now. I really do think that one of the key things that has helped me so much was this mentality. When I went into the diet, I was convinced from some of my research that I need to make sure my diet is really high in probiotics, and that's where the yogurt comes in. And I really want to start on kefir again. But kefir, I did tend to react a little bit to kefir. It is pretty strong stuff. But probiotics and prebiotics, and so I just loaded up on the yogurt. And I also was taking the vitamin D3, like I told you all in another video, the vitamin B12, and also then this colostrum that I'm taking. And I really believe that a couple of those things, especially the colostrum and the high probiotic foods like yogurt, I truly believe those are some of the keys that are keeping me this healthy. I'm being honest with you guys. I've only been out of this, I mean, for what, 2 months now since I started the diet, maybe a month and a half. So I'm not on this extremely long. Only time will tell if this is maintained or if I'm just in remission for a while and then I'm gonna jump back into another flare. I just wanted to share with you guys how excited I am, what I think is helping me, and I'm just gonna keep you all updated as we go through life. And I'm really hoping and praying that this time maybe we found some answers. And I'm really praying I won't go into such severe flares, and that if I continue, with my high probiotic foods, my colostrum, and a few of those things that I'm doing, that I can remain healthy. I'm mad at myself for falling off the bandwagon. I need to get back in balance realign my focus and say, you know what, you fell off the bandwagon, but it's okay, forgive yourself, and try to look at it again. This is a lifestyle change, and I need to stay within that at least 80% of the time, and then maybe the other 20% of the time allow myself to have some fun cheat foods. I mean, obviously, ulcerative colitis is something where you have flares and then you have remission from those flares and you flare again. I'm in what would be called a remission right now, and my goal is to stay in remission for as long as possible. I do believe there is healing, but I definitely know I can't be healed yet. That was way too quick, but it was able to pull me out of this flare. So I want to refocus my energy, be more careful with my diet so that I can actually enjoy these foods like salads and fruits and things, and not be cheating on bad things like chocolate and gluten, which gluten I rarely cheat on. But thanks a lot for all your support. I hope you all are doing well, because I'm telling you, it just, when you have your health like this, the whole world sings and the sun shines brighter and the birds sing louder and everything is just so incredible. And I just thank God for every day that I feel well. I've just decided, you know what? Before I had this mentality that I have to be well all the time. And now I'm switching that focus to just more, you know what, I thank God for every day that is good and I count it a blessing. I don't know if I'm going to stay like this for a while. I sure hope so. I sure hope I can stay in remission for much longer. Maybe I can get healed to the point where I don't have to worry about this anymore in years to come. We'll see. And I will keep you guys posted on my progress. But I really hope you all can find answers and relief to the things that you're suffering with. So guys, if you're enjoying this channel, I'd love if you'd subscribe and hit the bell button. Once again, that bell button makes it so you don't miss videos. Otherwise, you often do miss them because YouTube just isn't that great with promoting videos. And I'm just super excited. I did 2 interviews this past week that I'll be posting over the next month, and it all has to do with colostrum. I was actually able to interview a doctor with a PhD, and so you guys aren't going to want to miss that. I'll just say it right now, if you are interested in colostrum and have been thinking about it and have heard of it before, I will have links below to a company that I would highly recommend. Like I said, I'll be talking about more of them in a future video, but I'll have links to a website below if you want to order through them and want to know that you can trust this company to give you quality colostrum. This is a disclaimer that I do get a benefit from that if you go through my link, just letting you know, but I do really like this company. From the experiences I've had with their product, it's incredible. It truly is. So I have links to the colostrum below, and I also have links to collagen if you're interested. Thanks for watching. You all have a good day. Stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye.